Right, not very well in focus, is it? So yeah, hello again. Am I zoomed too far? Ooh, no, I don't get that. So yeah, hello. So the last video ended a bit abruptly because the batteries ran out on the camera, but it is fully charged today, so it should be right today. So yes, week's gone since that video was done. Not done anything with the gearbox. Monday's really the only day I actually get off where I can actually have time to do anything like this. So I'm going to carry on with it today. What I have been, it wouldn't be that close to you. What I have been sort of thinking of doing to try and add a bit more strength into this is actually sort of grind some grooves into the shaft and then put a lot of weld into them grooves, so I haven't got to dress it at all then. So I think that's what I'm going to do first. Right, I'm in shock. So yeah, thinking about it, I sort of plough some quite deep grooves through where the brake is, try and really then put a lot of weld into it. And we'll see how it goes. Well, I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Where are we? Oh, there's a groove. See that little dot? That's just the bottom of the weld, so it had gone in fair way. That's actually, that little dot is where the brake is. See it just there. So, is the camera going to pick up how deep I've gone? You can see quite clearly the brake. So if I fill that in with weld, that's going to be quite a big welder, and if I do that in a few places, I got all my money's worth out of that. I'll just show you something here. On the other video, you know I was saying about if you get a good weld, the slag will actually lift off. I'll just show you this. It down here. If I zoom in, focus, hopefully it'll focus. See the way the slag is actually lifting away? That's a sign of quite a good weld with an arc welder. Let's see, feeling quite nicely that is, and that won't actually need much in the way of dressing. I'm just going to carry on because I didn't do this bit. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Really, see, it is pretty flat, so I'm not going to have to do any dressing on that. But yeah, right. Back on the. I'm not going to say Dewey, but yeah, tripod. Zoom you back out a little bit. There we go. Alright. So what I'm going to do is carry on grooving the shaft, filling them in, and then it will need a little bit of welding off, grinding off there. So what I'm going to do is switch the camera off, and then I'll flick it back on once I've sort of finished a bit more. Okay, so I've done it in 4 places. I don't know if I'm picking up, they are quite nice, deep welds. Well, no, won't need much stressing. I was saying about like the slag chips off nice. Notice this last bit here just came off as one complete bit. Now pop that little thing. Shake. Not too bad. But yeah, that. Yeah, when a slag chips off as easy as that. Oh, I've dropped it now. But yeah, when it comes off. Yeah, when a piece of slag chips off, nice and cleanly like that, you know you have actually got quite a good weld there. Nice deep. Temperature was right, speed was right. So yeah. So I'm just going to do a little bit of dressing now because it, bloody visor. It does just need a little bit of filing down. That's got bloody hot, that shaft has. So yeah, dress it all down now, clean it up, and go from there. Right, so took the absolute bare minimum of grinding off it. Doesn't look as nice as it did before, but I've left the welds, sort of as intact as I can. Just at the bare minimum. It's quite warm. So oops, not quite fit. Wants a little bit more welding, filing I should say. It's bloody hot. That was fitting actually. So it's actually hitting where that's probably where it does go up to, actually, thinking about it. So yeah, I think I'm now going to try assembling the gearbox. So, gearbox. Never put one of these back together before, so just a case now if I remember where everything went. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the mating services because it didn't have any gasket or O-rings or sealants or anything there. So I am tempted just to put it back together with nothing there. Right, what I have got to do first, I think, is actually assemble the shaft and the differential back together. Pop this out of the way for now. bearing. Spacer, which I have no idea where that goes. Doesn't go there. Maybe that goes into that. There's then a circlip that goes around there. Where for the life of me does that spacer fit? On the shaft? Yes, it does. Ah, I see where it goes. Okay. I've worked it out now. It's not so much a spacer, it's more of a bearing. Right. So, put the bearing on first. Right. And yeah, it actually fits into somewhere on the housing. Right, okay. So what I've got to do now, put that back into there, pop 2 circlips on, which isn't going to be easy because there was a pig to get off. I'll bet my size, circlip pliers are here. Right, I'm going to pop that in there like this. Yeah. Just turn you around a little bit. There'll probably be lots of swearing, lots of clips go flying about the place. But, that came off that way. Sure it did. Right. Goes on. Yeah, that will work. So, drift, see if we can knock that clip in. I hate these things. I'll put it down on the bench. did have two on it when it came out. Oops, they were very slightly different to these. These are what hold the wheel on the other end, so if it can hold it onto the wheel, it can hold it onto the gearbox end, can't it? Done. So that was the one job I was actually worried about doing, getting that back into there. Okay. Back into shot down here again. Should just drop back in. There we go, to there. That works, stiff works. Okay. Do you think it'd be prudent to probably put a bit more grease in there? Possibly. It's actually like a gear oil though, isn't it? I could just put some grease in it. It's just multi-purpose grease, but it's got to be better than nothing. Well, say nothing, there is quite a bit of grease and lubrication in here. Lovely. Funky, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm working on the principle. There was no gasket. There is definitely no gasket was on here. There's no sealant. So I'm just going to put it back together, you know, as is. Okay. In right yet. Just hoping I put that space on the right way round. Wondering. Again. Ah, that's okay. Right, on the edge of that spacer, there is a little locating point. I can see where it goes now. It goes just there. That's it. Now it's located. Now it should go on easier. Yep. Nope. Still not quite sitting down. It's sitting high still. This side's okay, but this side isn't. Right, yeah. It's alright, there's another one of these locating dewey's here. That's right. Right, I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing. Yep, so on bearing here, there is actually a little tab, locating point, same as the one on this side. they weren't in, so hopefully now they will. This should just drop on. So what's this, third time lucky? Yep, now it's gone in right. Right, so I suppose now I need to nip some of the screws, bolts back up. And there is something that you need to do, and I'll show you, when you actually put it back together. So all these bolts, studs, whatever you want to call them, they're all the same size. There's none come out in any different places. Finger tight, just to make sure I haven't got them cross-threaded, haven't got anything jamming. One in the middle there. So, just going to pop the camera off now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten them all up. I'm going to just do loosely till they nip, then do diagonally around the housing and just nip them all up. I'm not going to go massively tight because they weren't tight when I took them out. So yeah, just to save the battery and your boredom, I'm just going to switch the camera off for a bit. Right, so done them all up. Everything still seems to turn okay. Right, something I did learn by watching videos on YouTube about these gearboxes. Where the selector shaft moves, so you get a nice definite clunk clunk clunk, there is a ball bearing. When you take gearbox apart, you have to make sure you do find that ball bearing because it will drop out. So you find it in all the grease, put it to one side. Once you've assembled the gearbox back up, there's a little grub screw here. Pop that out. Probably just want a pair of pliers. Hang on. Pliers there, going just a bit. Make sure that the selector shaft is moving. Yep. So what you do, once you retrieve the little ball bearing, you put it to one side. That's all it is. I'm not going to let go of it because it's going to fall. You drop it down the hole. There's a spring behind it. Push that into the hill. Take your grub screw. Tighten it back in. And you should move the selector. You should be able to feel now it's a bit more definite. Yeah. no set tightness, but I suppose the tighter you have it, the more pressure it exerts on it. It was just about flush with the top of the case in the bolt was, so that's where it is now. Right, brake disc, caliper, go back on now. Right, so it looks like it's a bit of a space, I don't know where that goes. That goes on, I'll put the brake shoe back in. Yep, the brake shoe is there, that goes on. For the life of me, I don't know where that O-ring went. Ah, it's up there. Look at that. Right. So, got this shoe out a bit now. Pad, so shoe. Not really in shot on that. I'm deliberately not doing anything massively tight because I am finding, obviously it's an aluminium casing. Okay, so I don't know if I'm in neutral or not now. Reverse, neutral. Oh, sorry, neutral. So, this can go back on properly now. You've got a half moon shape. So the keyway goes into the shaft there. You can obviously see which was the top and the bottom, because the bottom was clean because it's not got all the crap on it. And there. Circlip goes back onto there, and I'll just put my circuit pliers away. Yeah. And now the selector shaft. Where on earth did that come from? I can't remember what way around the shaft. I think it went back that way. Slightly more going, I've got 2 screws left here. One obviously goes in there. Another one of them screws. thinking about it, I don't think they came. No, they didn't. They came out the tractor's seat. Remember when I did the seat? Yeah, that's where they came from. They're not anything from the gearbox. Thank God. So, that is it, pretty much assembled back together. Whether it's going to work, then that's a very different story. So what I'm going to do, I think I will be back on the mower today, because it's still quite early, I think. 20 to 4. Probably not going to film kicking up because you're not going to be able to see a lot. I ain't going to be able to have the camera under there with me. Suffice to say that it's basically a case of putting it on a jack, rolling it underneath, lifting it up, bolting it up and doing that. So yeah, what I'll do, I will get it back on the mower now and yeah, put the camera back on if anything interesting or otherwise happens. So it went on fairly easy actually, a lot easier than I was expecting. Sorry, jiggling you about there. Slid it under there, loosely put all the bolts in, got everything connected up, belts up, etc. And yeah, all seemed to go back in nicely. I'm going to drop the wheels back on now, so get it back down on the ground. Of course what I have got to do is put a seat on it, because I took the seat off this and put it on the big Zetor, thinking that this was destined for the great scrap heap in the sky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the wheels on, so I can get it off the axle stands at least. Problem is, see, I know it's going to work, that shaft it's going to hold, but I don't know for how long, and that's the problem. You know, it's, you know, if it breaks straight away, fine, but it could go for a few weeks, it could go for a few months, and then it breaks. So yeah, drop the wheels back on. And I might see about putting one of them car chairs that I had. You know, I tried in the big Zetor, dropping that on there, seeing how that fits. Right, so there's something I thought I'd never see again. Countax back on its wheels. It actually looks like it's got a flat tire. Anyway, this side a bit low. So, it wasn't too bad a job actually messing about with that gearbox. Everything lined up back together nicely, went in easily. So yeah, now it's just a case of going through all the prattling about of getting that chair to fit up on there, which I think it will. I'm not going to do that tonight because it is actually surprisingly cold. I don't know if it's probably not picking up, but it is. To say we're, what are we, 10th of March, and you know, supposedly spring is around the corner. It is actually quite cold in here. It seemed a bit too. Ooh, no, I don't want to go that close. Okay. So yeah, just got to get the seats sorted out for it. I won't bother videoing that, so I'm not going to do it tonight anyway. Make them down one evening during the week and have a go at it. It shouldn't take that long. And then it's a case really then of putting the Countax back to work and seeing what happens, and just seeing how long that shaft takes before it breaks again. But yeah, difficult to say. You know, so as I said before, if you buy a second-hand gearbox or second-hand shaft or second-hand mower, you could just break straight away. Yeah, I could take this mower now, stick it in an agricultural auction, stick it on eBay, and you know, it's lovely, it's never been any trouble, and yeah, person could break it, you know, as soon as they use it. So I think until a new shaft, new gearbox or new mower comes along at a sensible price, I think I've just got to sort of run with this one really. Tyre does look funny though. I'm hoping the gearbox is in straight. No, just swing you back round. It's definitely on the piss, that mower is. But looking at it, that tyre does look low. It is, yeah, Thomas. Very low. That's alright. Just worried that I'd put a spacer in wrong or something. That one's almost rock on that side, so that's okay. Right, so we just there we go. Don't be that glue. Right, there we go. So yeah, so that'll be it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for people who are subscribing, and yeah, I hope you are getting some enjoyment on it. And yeah, so here we go. So yeah, thank you, and I'll report back at a later time how this goes. Thank you.